What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Locks presented by Scores and Odds. If you haven't checked it out already, just making bad life choices, going over to scoresandodds.com where you got picks from me, Meansy, Dino, Noto, all the greats. Plus, you get access to this nice little prop shopping tool where you can see exactly what we have projected for each individual prop. Plus, where the best odds are at. And most importantly, you get access to Grant's Action Lounge. What is Grant's Action Lounge? Well, it's my Discord where I'm throwing in all my picks each and every day. So look at all these picks. We've been gambling a lot. Going to continue gambling. Yeah, got a bunch of picks today. Got football, got basketball, got a lot. So we're just going to get right into it. If you see all these picks up here, it's small. Let me zoom in on that. All these ones were made yesterday. Outside Kenneth Walker and Schultz. So Geno Smith under 19.5 rushing yards. Easy pick. Minus 118 Superbook. Brian Robinson, I think this has moved 2 yards already, down to 53.5, if I remember correctly. Minus 110 over at Bet365 and over at MGM. Taylor Heineke over 14.5 rushing yards, minus 115 over at Superbook. Daniel Jones under 34.5 rushing yards over at Bet365. Trevor Lawrence under 13.5 rushing yards, Bet365. Mariota under 34.5 rushing yards, same. Rashad White, this one's moved a lot, minus 110 over at MGM Bet365. Under 20.5 minus 110. So we'll get to today's picks. Dalton Schultz. Well, actually, we'll start off with some basketball. We have Zion Williamson under 36.5 points, rebounds, assists. You can get it plus 100 over at Bet365. We go and look over to the prop shopping tool. Zion is sitting at minus 115 over at FanDuel. We currently have him projected to 34.78. Really simply, he did far too well in his first outing. Will that continue? Probably not. I'm not expecting this again. It is a good match versus Charlotte, but this line's just a bit too high here. It's an easy under for me. I still don't mind it at minus 115. Brandon Ingram under 34.5 points, rebounds, assists. There's too many mouths to feed in this offense. So you have Valanciunas, you have Ingram, you have Zion, you have McCollum. Like Herb Jones really isn't going to do much on the offensive end, but there's far too many guys in this offense here. So I'm taking the under on a lot of these guys just because there's too many mouths to feed. We currently have Brandon Ingram projected at 32.35 points, rebounds, assists. That's what par means. It's plus rebounds, plus assists. So minus 110 over at DraftKings. Easy one for me. Gordon Hayward over 16.5 points. This is going to be a fast-paced game. Gordon Hayward is still a guy that's going to do a lot in this offense. We currently have him projected for 17.7. Some places already moved it up to 17.5. I'm rolling with the over. It's an easy over here, minus 115 at Bet365, minus 115 over at DK, minus 120 over at MGM. See, Caesars already has it minus 145 on the over, so it's almost an arbitrage situation. Yeah, just real simple there. I'm rolling with the over. Kelly Oubre over 16.5 points. You can get minus 115 over at DraftKings. Oubre, we have projected, I think, for 17.6. Again, going to do a lot in this offense. No LaMelo, I believe. Decent uptick for both these guys. So easy overs. Tyrese Halliburton over 17.5 points. You can get it minus 115 over at Bet365. Let's see what it is at other places. Halliburton minus 120 now over at MGM. Moved to minus 145 over at DK. Already moved to 18.5. Yeah, well, this clears like it was a very good bet, minus 115. I think you can still get it at minus 115 if you have Bet365. It's only in a few states right now. It's in Colorado, and I think it's in, I want to say, Arizona. So take advantage of it while you can, if you can, in your state. Devin Vassell, over 15.5 fantasy points. So he did not do great his first outing. We currently have him projected for 17.82. It's minus 135 on the over, but I think that's still too low. Devin Vassell is really the guy in this offense. It's him and it's Keldon Johnson. Looking at his game log, he had 11 points. He shot 15 times, went 3 for 15, shot awful, is going to get to the line a decent amount. Matchup versus Indy is a solid one. Both these teams are trying to tank, so I worry about the rotations. But we saw Vassell in what wasn't even a close game play 29 minutes. I should see him play 30 minutes if this game stays close, which it should. Both these teams are not trying to win at this moment. Halliburton over 9.5 assists, minus 111. Like I said, this should be a close game. Both these players, or Halliburton, should see a full complement of minutes. Minus 111 is too low. He averaged 9.6 with Pacers last season. That includes the beginning of the season, or beginning of his time with the Pacers, rather, where he was not doing a ton, wasn't playing a ton of minutes. Now in this offense, going to be distributing, might lead the league in assists realistically. I like it. Monte Morris over 15.5 points, rebounds, assists. We go look at the prop shopping tool. It has projections. Morris is projected for 17.41. I think that's a little bit low. Playing Washington, going to get a decent amount of minutes, enough usage where 15.5 is too low. It hasn't moved anywhere yet, but still, minus 120 over at Bet Rivers. You can get minus 125 over at MGM. I think it's still at minus 120 over at Bet Rivers. Let's see. Jimmy Butler under 36.5 points, rebounds, assists. Butler, it's just too high of a number. I think we have projected well under that. It might have already moved 34.5. What did I get at? 36.5. So, yeah, it's probably not worth it now anymore. It's already moved 2 points. Tough matchup going up against Boston. Butler not going to be as efficient with the matchup versus either Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum guarding him. So 36.5 is clearly too high as it's moved 2 points already. Trey Jones under 3.5 rebounds, minus 1 or plus 110 over at DK, plus 108 over at Superbook. Buddy Hyde over 4.5 rebounds, minus 120 over at Bet Rivers. Again, this is a game that should stay close. We currently have him projected for 4.5. So I think that's a little bit low. Line's already moving to minus 130. I just think line's a bit too low. Beal over 5.5 assists. We saw Beal last season getting a ton of assists. Line is probably moved a decent amount here. I got it plus 100. It's currently sitting at minus 105. Okay, still solid. We have him projected for 7.34. Like, he's distributing. He's the main guy in this offense. He's distributing. He's going to shoot a lot. He's going to distribute the ball a lot. There's an easy over. If you have Bet365, get it plus 100. Otherwise, I still like it at MGM at minus 105. DeJounte Murray under 21.5 points. Again, he's in a new offense where he's not going to be the guy. He still had a ton of usage in the first game. Line's already moved to, now it's still at minus 120 over at MGM. So that's good. Trae Young's in the offense, Collins in the offense, Capella's in the offense. They have a decent amount of guys to eat up the usage. DeJounte Murray's still going to get a lot of usage in this spot here. But match versus Orlando, decent chance of being a blowout. I'm rolling with the under. Ben Simmons over 6.5 assists, minus 105 at DK or at win. I also took the over Ben Simmons rebounds, minus 135 over at win. Simmons had a rough outing his first game. Real rough outing. Fouled out in 23 minutes. Don't really expect that to happen again. Ben Simmons, guy that averaged close to 8 rebounds and 8 assists per game. Over in Philly, sorry, moved to minus 140. Still don't mind it at that for the rebounds. Should be distributing a lot. Going to have him play centers a lot, so that's why the rebound number has got so much juice. We currently have him project for less than 6.5 assists. I don't care. I really like the over. Simmons, for both of these, he should play around 30 minutes. We don't really want to push him too much. 30 minutes is realistically viable. Going up against Toronto, should be a close game. Simmons, unlikely to foul out in this spot here. I'm taking the over. And then on the other side, Siakam, over 22.5 points. I think we have projected for 23.5, maybe 24. Siakam, 23.7. You can get even money on the over now at FanDuel, so that's nice. I got even money over at DK, minus 105 over at win. Siakam, good matchup versus the Nets. They're going to run at a big pace. It's going to be high scoring. It's going to be close. It's going to be a good game. 22.5 points is too low. Desmond Bane taking the over on points, rebounds, assists. You can get minus 111 over at Sports Illustrated, minus 120 over at Sports Illustrated. Where is it elsewhere? I know that there's decent lines at other spots. I don't mind taking the alt line. You know how much I love Desmond Bane. You can get -120 at 20.5 over at MGM. For points, rebounds, assists. Bane, you can get it 27.5 over at MGM. So take them both over at MGM. Bane shot terribly in his first game so far this season. There's no Triple J. Likely no Dylan Brooks. Shot 6 for 22, 3 for 13 from beyond the arc. This guy's close to a 50% shooter. He's over 50% shooter, I think, from 2-point land. 3-point land, he's a 43% shooter. He's one of the best shooters in the entire league. This number is far too low. We see the volume was absolutely there. 22 shot attempts in what was a slow-paced game going up against the Knicks. Now it gets a match versus Houston. While there is a decent chance that this blows out, if it blows out, most likely Bane's still getting there. If it stays close, Bane is absolutely going to crush this line. Kevin Looney, under 2.5 assists, -115 over bet 365. We have him projected like 1.5. Hart, under 14.5 points, -105 over at DraftKings. Hart is the fifth option in this lineup. Hit this in the first game they had. He hit the over, but he also, I think, went 8 for 10 from the field. Not expecting that to happen again. Again, fifth option in this lineup. Not a guy that's going to do a ton on the offensive end. We currently have him projected for, let's see, 13.69. And I think that's too high, even. So I'm rolling with the under. Same thing with Nurkic. Not going to be in the game that long. They always kind of limit him a little bit. 10 rebounds is a bit too high. Spot going up against Phoenix. It's a tough matchup. Rolling with the under. All right, let's get to our weekend football bets here. Got a few of them. Kareem Hunt, under 35.5 rushing yards. While Hunt has actually hit this in every single game but the last one. That's because they've been mostly in control every game except for the last one. Getting 10 rushes a game. They'd rather rush the ball with Chubb. Hunt is mostly going to be used in there later in the game. In the passing game, they're not going to be running the ball a ton. Matchup likely means that they're going to be trailing in this game, going up against Baltimore. 6.5 point spread last time I checked it. We currently have them projected for 32.35. Easy under. -110, bet 365, -110 at MGM. Saquon Barkley, over 76.5 rushing yards. Barkley has averaged close to 100 rushing yards, or over 100 rushing yards a game, getting about 20 rushing attempts per game. Line is currently sitting at 3 last time I checked. Barkley is going to crush this number. Our projections haven't projected for right about this, but I don't care. This is far too low of a number. Going up in Jacksonville. Jacksonville's been a solid rush defense, but Barkley's workload is just ridiculous. Doesn't matter if they're trailing or not. They're still going to rush the ball, and they're still going to give him 20 carries. He's the main piece of this offense. Damien Pierce, over 76.5 rushing yards. You get -110 over at bet 365. Pierce has been great recently. He's been absolutely fantastic. Let's see if I can pull it up here somewhere. I'm going to pull it up right now. Damien Pierce game log. Last 3 games been on an absolute tear. Yeah, here it is. 26 and 99, 14 and 131, 20 and 80, 15 and 69. So he's hit this over in the last 4 games. First game, they kind of forgot he was there for some reason. I don't know why. Was it Lovie Smith over there? He's like, yeah, we just kind of forgot about him. Went with Burkhead. Not going to happen again. Pierce is the main piece in this offense. He's the clear go-to back, 67.5, hit it in 4 straight games, averaging 100 rushing yards per game over the last 3, 20 rushing attempts per game, easy over. Jerick McKinnon, under 13.5 receiving yards. You get -110 over at bet 365, -110 over at MGM. Jerick McKinnon getting, 2.5 targets a game, if that, averaging 2 receptions per game. Has hit the under on this in 4 out of 6 games of the season, 2 outliers. This is going to be a slower pace game going up against the 49ers. Just got CMC. They're going to run the ball a ton. They're going to eat up the clock. It's going to be a not nearly as high scoring game as most of the Chiefs games have been so far this season. Easy under. Same thing with Mahomes. Mahomes. Spelling is not my strong suit. 26.5 pass completions. I'm taking the under. -111 at Caesars. I think -110 over at DK. Caesars, let me get more money down. It's just too high of a line. And lower scoring games. He's at the under on this every single time. Going up against a tough 49ers defense. Likely to be a slower paced game, again, because the 49ers like to keep the ball on the ground. I'm taking the under. Also taking the under on CEH, 2.5 receptions, minus 135 over at Bet365. I think it's minus 135 over at MGM. Let me check here real quick. Going down to reception. Nice little prop shopping tool. Yeah, minus 135 over at DK. So that's it. That's my bets. Month has not gone great so far. Absolutely crushed it last month with a 16% ROI. Losing some money because we had a bad weekend of football and bad first big night of basketball. But I mean, look at our record summary. Up 30K on props since April when we started this show. 56% win rate in NHL. Ignore MLB because most of those are home run bets. So the 33% really isn't what it should be, but we cleared 7.3K in MLB. Last year, we cleared the 2-3 months I was doing this. We cleared 13K in NBA. Yeah. And even we're still up 1.3K, 2.3K technically in NFL this season because we had a 1K loss on the Super Bowl, which is when we started. So I guess we started in February. But yeah, things going well. Crushing it. Again, go get signed up, scoresandodds.com, and get in the scoresandodds.com /Discord to get in the Grants Action Lounge. That's it. That's the show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We're out of here. Later, kids.